Welcome to episode 5 of Katanagatari. Last time we had a lot of focus on Nanami versus the Insect Squad, and then there was apparently a fight with Hakuhei Sabi. That happened. So, yeah. As for the books, I'm nearing the end of book 2. The second omnibus collection, books 4, 5, and 6, actually releases today. And I have ordered it, and I'll be getting that, and making progress there as well, but of course I'm further ahead in the anime so that I can do these videos. We're going to watch episode 5 and discuss it at the end. I've got the subtitles and a timer if you want to follow along, or you can pull up the full episode on your own, but either way, we're going to watch episode 5 right now. So let's go. In 3, 2, 1, play. So they said something about pirates? Oh, whatty? We are dealing with a princess, apparently. Fancy place. Talking about Togame. They sure did defeat Sabi Hakuhei. And we totally got to see it. Ah, I see. People going after the title, I don't know why they think they can take it, but apparently they think they can. She bestowed this title. She just thinks they're arrogant. But the way she phrased that about Hakuhei Sabi... She said, like, how arrogant of them to think that they are like all that just because they defeated him. She's the man that I bestowed upon the title of strongest swordsman. Kind of sounded like she was saying that that title was kind of arbitrary and maybe he's not like the biggest threat that they would face. Which would make sense because we still have plenty of episodes left. Alright, I want to see that. Like, in what way? Because we already had the very first sword in episode 1 was an unbreakable sword. What kind of defensive power does it have that's different than that? Like, in what way is it defensive? Is that it? That doesn't look like the other ones at all. That's not a katana. That's probably not it. It's just some random goober. What do we have here? Is the sword armor? Well, we had one sword that was 1,000 swords. Which I still don't think makes sense. But is this sword armor? Okay. Interesting. If that's what's happening, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, I've been reading the book and I'm on the final battle of book 2. It's been fun. Still very wordy, of course. But there are good details included in the book that I think the anime could have benefited from. A lot of which I don't want to talk about yet in case they get brought up later, or just a better time for me to bring them up, but nothing spoiler related, of course. Just like a little extra thought that happened to pass through a character's mind that's nice to know about that the anime couldn't convey. But yeah, here we go, episode 5. There's just some armor. They did mention something about pirates, though, in episode 5, or at the end of episode 4. It's like a pirate captain or something. Zokuto Yoroi. I guess that answers my question, how it can be defensive. It does look like, it's part of it is designed to look like the hilt. So this guy thinks he can break through it with a big-ass sword. And he's just going to tackle him. Nope. Sorry, pal. Why does he have like a fish tail? Bye. Sorry, dude. And they're already there. So he thought it was that. It's not, it wasn't that sword, it was... Yeah, right? Side character is probably even a bit too much for that guy. So yeah, he's a pirate captain. He's got like a whale on the back of his head. So that's an interesting way to change it up a little bit, making one of the swords armor. That's cool. That's rather than just this sword can't break, this sword cuts anything. We're getting a little more variation. And in a way that I wouldn't expect. When I think of like a power that a sword would have, they don't quite go that route. They just, the sword is shaped into armor. That's unique. That's cool. Again, it's not a sword though. But okay, I mean, we'll see how that goes, how they explain that. I mean, if you can kill with it, if you can fucking like slice some dudes up with it, then I guess it's a sword. Of course it is. The hot spring episode. Does he have? Yeah, exactly. They just mentioned earlier that he's never been injured in his fights. Maybe that's going to change now. This is interesting, pairing him up against somebody so armor-clad. He has a lot of hair. They're a good match in that way. But no, he's fine, which makes me think that like that's about to change. So Hakuhei Sabi, strongest swordsman, yeah, that's a big deal, but like the swords that we're going to fight from here on out are different. It's not just about fighting a strong swordsman with a good sword. We're going to encounter different scenarios that'll push him in different ways. Hopefully. So yeah, you can beat this swordsman guy, but then how do you bust through armor like this? We'll see. The butt. Okay, fine. I'll drink the damn sake. Did he take like the smallest sip of all time? I like the purple bow. I think it looks good. So we're gonna slow the pace. Yeah, you got it from Komori, you got the one from Hakuhei. Your personal betrayals are taken care of, even though, like, the entire Maniwa, absconded. It's more personal with that guy. So again, they're saying, oh, I've never been injured. Oh, we can go more slowly. Oh, it's, like, not as big a deal anymore. Which makes me think it's going to get harder now and subvert their expectations. Yeah, you just have to trust in him. There's no point worrying about it. She did, but I mean, she'll still worry about it. There's that eye. Well, well, well. We're naked in the hot spring. Show me how much you care. Does she want to see if he has a boner? Like, if you loved me, you would have one. Is it a... Has he? Okay, that's all it was. My mind was much further in the gutter. Just checking out his body. Hanging out in the bath naked together. Whatever, it's fine. I don't think he would have, like, he doesn't know what that is. He doesn't understand, he doesn't care. Alright, that's cool. So, yeah. It's armor that's also a blade. It's defense and offense. In a pretty awesome way. Joints that would often be considered like a weakness of something like that are blades. Yeah, you can't break the armor because then we break the sword, which we don't want. So how do you... Like, is it are there separate pieces? Like, is there a helmet that you can knock off? Are there any small points you can hit? You could do this, I suppose. She did say we're going to play dirty. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's... I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. None of these plans will probably work. Drown him. Burn him. She's just... Even he... Who just... Who doesn't understand nearly as much about society. Is like, whoa, you're fucking cruel. So there's no attacking him out of the armor. Apparently she knows that about this guy. Okay, let's do it. Let's prepare, whatever that means. She's massaging her shoulders or something. It's not any more serious than that. Okay, yeah, her back. My foot is supposed to be a sword, you know. Okay. I've never heard of that. Step on my head, it feels real good. Like as a massage thing, but okay. A lot of people wouldn't want a foot on their head. Some people would love it, though. A lot of people wouldn't. Do you, though? You haven't done anything. Big, armored. No idea what we'll do. Wow, the strategian telling him to think for himself. Good job keeping up your end of the fucking partnership. Small people have their own way of fighting, but you don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about martial arts. Think for yourself. I get that you have your own way of fighting. You have your own ideas, like the pushing in the water and the burning. But when you haven't put any of these into practice successfully, well, it doesn't really matter all that much now, does it? Apparently she helped against Takuhei Sabi, but that's irrelevant because I didn't see that. That's it. He thought she was cute. I want to go on a date. Yeah, figured that he would know who she is and know why they're there. The reputation is spreading after beating Sabi and getting that title. People are learning about the Kyotoryu. That's interesting because, like, with the armor, obviously it is a certain size. It's not like a sword that you can just anybody can just pick up. You gotta be able to fit into the armor. So it's just another case of a pretty perfect person finding it. Do you think so? Do you think that's... I don't get that sense. Right on the elbow. I thought he was, like, trying to sense his surroundings, but apparently he was zoning out. I can't blame him too much. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's not relevant to me. I just gotta fight this guy later. What he has to say doesn't matter. He did. Yeah, but if you defeat him, then you get it. You get to have the title. And now if you lose, it's not even embarrassing because you lost to Japan's strongest. Who could even blame you? So then what's up? Go get the other ones? Why does he care about this? Okay. Where are we going with this? Just about piracy? About being able to leave? It'd be cool if we had a fight out at sea. That'd be fun. Is that right? Like, how so? Okay. He wants a good show. Yeah, why not? Let's make a big thing out of it. Well, of course. And if we go to Owari, maybe we'll fully meet the princess girl. Your hand in marriage. I don't think so. I think he's good with his armor. I don't think he needs a sword. Could try to sell them or something, but no. He just wants you. Does Shichika have anything to say about this? You should have gone to this guy for help. I'll have you fall for me. He did immediately. Of course, he cares about swords, so it's not going to work. But, you know. Yeah, I'll take that guy's position. And you'll go on the sword hunt with her? Would you? Would you continue helping her do that? Wow. So yeah, this is the kind of guy she was looking for. Somebody who fights for love and falls for her immediately. It's like Shichika fucking... for her, it doesn't matter who wins. If he loses, she's got a new guy to replace him. But not really, though. It's not quite the same. It's probably better to have Shichika. Less complicated. Alright. Acting like Saitama. Okay. Pretty good. But that's a glass mirror. It's not quite the same. But to go through... That's got to be pretty thick armor to go through it to hit the guy inside. Maybe he can. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea to hang around this guy. So he is actually thinking about it. Jeez. That's not teasing. That's domestic abuse. Yeah, true. Which is also, you don't fight fire with fire. That would be helpful. But then in handing over his own sword, handing over his armor, would he do it? He has no use for other swords, but with that one, would he really give it up? Mm-hmm. That was the whole point. You just have to show that you love her more. So even if you survive, what if he replaced you? Would you be cool with that? Nope. Right? He's thinking, well, I mean, if it's to benefit you, if you would collect swords more easily that way, maybe. And she's like, how dare you? Oh, it's a... Yeah, I forgot about the Maniwa. There's a chicken one. Alright, the bird squad. Does that include the girl that was going to marry the butterfly? Is he now? Is he really? Like, in what way? What about it? That's really not necessary, sir. I don't want that. I don't want to have that. No, that's weird. I don't accept. Okay. With what? You don't have another arm to cut it off with. What do you... He'll find a way. I guess he has one arm now. That happened. It's highly unnecessary. Mm-hmm. They never met those other three guys. No? And now, an arm from one of its others. And whose fault is that? Yeah, but you aren't really actually in the fight. You kind of don't matter, though. That's the thing. We don't need that, though. We don't need your help. You've all proven to be of no threat whatsoever. And we've been doing fine. Literally never been injured. There's literally no reason for us to be talking to you. Interesting proposal, though. Instead of fighting for the same swords, just work it out so that you're going after different swords, then fight each other for those. But you guys are so irrelevant that I don't even see why we should care. I have no reason to believe that Shichika couldn't kill this man pretty easily. Although, of course, the only one he has actually killed is Komori, and that was because Komori really messed up. And, his ninpo wasn't effective. So maybe Shichika might have more trouble against these guys with their ninpo. The other ones were killed by other people, so actually... But still, I can't really take them seriously with what we've seen of them so far. But she told them where he's going, where they're going. The princess is on the move. He told her the presumed location of other swords. So, hey, we're working with the Maniwa a little bit, with the chicken man. So what's the deal with the princess, though? Okay, so the Maniwa gets pushed to the background a little bit, which they already kind of were, because I honestly forgot about them entirely. Yeah, we already took out 3 in one episode, so we gotta push them to the side a bit to make them last. Oh yeah, now she's going to find out that she's saying it wrong. Chesuto. Yes. The ultimate embarrassment. Whoa. With that speed, you could go get all the swords right now. You could have been done already. Jesus. Apparently, this is the worst thing that could have ever possibly happened. No. It's fine. It's not a big. It's fine. Great. Yeah. Fine. She couldn't even come up with an excuse. That might be something you say when you punch somebody, because you punch them. You'd think you might leave after punching somebody, so you're like, goodbye. Get out of here. Now everyone knows you're a fraud. 'Cause of Cheerios. Yes. Why would he? How did you know? How did even you knew? And you still did it. You kept up with it. Just go with it. You just have to roll with the punches. If you can't make fun of yourself, you can't survive in this world. You gotta just play into it. Be like, yeah, I'm fucking saying Cheerio. That's my thing. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's cute. Just go with it. Oh no! 2 random guys! Oh shit, the armor is off. Okay, so this little chore boy, sister, was killed by pirates, and then he became the armor man. I was really confused at first because she was saying fucking Chesuto, so I was like, is this a Togame flashback? What's happening? It didn't make any sense. I was confused. But yeah. Even that little girl knew it. Okay. She reminds him of his sister, so that's what. Okay, yeah. So you want to fuck your sister? Okay, it's fine, I guess. We'll see. We'll see if he finally takes damage. Oh, really? Being kind-hearted here. There's the catchphrase. Let's go. Yeah, it is. I don't know about that. He's a fast boy. Here he goes. It won't be that simple. Did it hurt him at all? He seems like he's fine. Yeah. Oops. Because that's some thick-ass armor. So now we've presented the option of not killing him, so I don't know if that'll happen. But even then, I don't know how we'll win. Doesn't work. That was like the one thing that you had. Which way to the sea? Can we move it over there? Or do you have a big magnifying glass? By chance. You don't know about Resolve? You gotta watch that shonen anime, dude. It's what it's all about. Oh shit. Very true. You got plenty of others. Or just do something else. Alright. There's that resolve. There's his inspiration. He's ready to go. But what will he actually do? Thinking is not good. It's not for... Thinking is not what you want to do. A little bit. Harsh. What the hell's going on? Alright, you do that then. It's ass-kicking mode. But what is Shichika gonna do? God damn. The poor audience. He just grappled with him. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Whoa. You just Rely on something else. Just pick him up and toss him. He's a strong boy. But what now? Are you going to snap his spine? What happens? Is that alone going to defeat him? You just threw him a little bit? Nice. Is that it? He just tossed him? Didn't kill him or anything, though. So, yeah, we have a winner. Okay? It ended up being real simple. Yeah, he's fine. Probably just knocked the wind out of him. But it's a victory. Yeah, he'll be fine as a pirate. He'll just be embarrassed to show his face. But yeah, that's our first opponent that we didn't kill. That's what I was wondering. Okay, his father had said it. And she will continue with the cheerio. Just embrace it. Yeah. Changing it would be more embarrassing. What's the boat's course? Oh shit. He fucked them. Well, alrighty then. They are going somewhere unexpected. That is episode 5. We got a preview at the end. Let's see a little bit of what that shows. What the hell? Okay, we're going to the snow. Let's talk about episode 5. Alright, episode 5. The sword that isn't a sword, but armor. Now, as I've talked about before, I'm also reading the books. I am near the end of book 2 right now, which, of course, it comes in a 3-in-1 omnibus where there's 3 books in one. And the second book just came out at the time I'm recording this, and just like when I opened up my package of book 1 on camera, book 2 has arrived in between me recording my reaction and review for one of the episodes. And I didn't even expect it this time, because the day I'm recording this is the day it came out, which is a Tuesday. I just ordered it yesterday, and it said it would get here on Thursday. 2-day shipping, Amazon Prime, that's how it usually goes. 2 days after the release date makes sense. But it actually got here today. It got here on the morning of release when I just ordered it like last night. So good on you, Amazon. So yeah, I just got it. Let's take it out of the thing. Is the next one. Fantastic. Looking good. Looking good. Nice pink on the back. Spine's in good condition. Little wrinklage down here. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Shit happens. Whatever. But yeah. Books 4, 5, and 6. Fun stuff. So yeah. This is probably my least favorite episode of the ones that I have seen so far. I definitely like the conceit of the armor. I now realize that when they say swords, they're willing to just kind of make it anything. We'll see how far it goes, how far it stretches. One of them looked like guns at the very beginning of the show. So there might just, they could be guns, I don't know. But yeah, it definitely played with my expectations. Because at the beginning I'm just thinking about all these different kind of crazy powers that swords could have, just like Bleach Zanpakuto, and it doesn't really seem to be going in that direction. And at the beginning they're keeping it very simple. Sword that can't be broken, a sword that can cut anything, a sword that's just, just 1,000 swords. Which is definitely weird. And then Hakuhei-sabi, I don't know. But now we're going beyond that into more unique territory, but maybe not in the ways that you would have thought. Maybe not in like typical shonen superpower type way, but swords that are just not even swords. A sword that is armor. Definitely not the kind of thing that I expected. It definitely helps to shake up the formula and add in something new, and whatever, I'll buy it. I'm not going to complain like, that is not a sword, and therefore the show is bad. Like, it's cool. It's interesting. I'll take it. So when they say Kiki Shikizaki's 12 blades, they're playing a little loose with the terminology. It's got blades in the joints. It's going to kill people, but you know, it's a suit of armor. But I think it's cool. I think it shakes things up. And this episode does more of that as well, in the fact that we don't actually kill our opponent. Just the setup for the fight, the themes of love and betrayal that they explore. They're doing a good job of not making it super repetitive in the formula, which is good, because it is generally the same thing every episode. They go after the sword and they get one, but they're doing a good job of changing it. The first 3 were all pretty different in terms of the fights. Episode 4, we didn't even see the fight, and we just went and did something else. We focused on Nanami. That was a totally different thing. And then in this one, again, they shake up the formula enough to make it not super repetitive. In the story structure, I still think the dialogue can be incredibly repetitive. That's one of my big problems with this episode. I think there were scenes that just went on way too long as I was watching, and I couldn't help thinking, like, this could probably be a 24-minute episode of anime, and you could probably do it alright. I thought that with a lot of them, but especially the last 2. And with this one specifically, I just feel like a lot of the dialogue was just going on too long. A lot of it states things that we already know, which I have found to be an issue in the books, too, as I've been reading them. Like, every single time we have to bring something up, it always is like Nisio Oisin was trying to hit a certain word count. So it can never just be like, Shichika. It's gotta be like, Shichika Yasuri, 7th head of the Kyotoryu. Or it can never just talk about the blades. Every single time you bring them up, it's got to be the 12 deviant blades of Kiki Shikizaki. Like, they always add in extra words that really just seem like they don't need to be there, and it just makes it repetitive when you're hearing Shichika Yasuri, 7th head of the Kyotoryu, the 12 deviant blades of Kiki Shikizaki. When you're hearing like that exact phrasing over and 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 over again, it just makes it feel a little repetitive. Like, you've got the conversation at the beginning when we meet this Princess Hite character who is clearly going to be more relevant going forward. Her and Togame don't really seem to be on good terms. I'm curious how she'll play into it. We were gonna be meeting her next episode, maybe, because we were going to Owari, but that's not happening anymore. But in the long run, she'll play some kind of role. And a lot of that scene is kind of just saying things that we really already know. And so it's like, all right, yeah, I know all this. We've heard all of this. It does a good job of talking about their reputation, Togame and Shichika, showing how people are starting to catch on to what they're doing. He is known as the strongest swordsman in Japan now, that he defeated Hakuhei-sabi. People are learning about the Kyotoryu, and that this guy is the 7th head, and they're getting a reputation. People are even challenging them. I don't know why. Like, just some random guys are like, yeah, I think I can do it. I'm gonna challenge this guy. I'm gonna be Japan's strongest. Okay, sure. No, you're not. But yeah, and that's good, but I do think it's kind of repetitive. I just feel that applies to most of the conversations. There are lines that just kind of seem like they don't really need to be there. Some conversations that don't really seem to lead to much. Like, there is kind of a big deal made in this episode about the fact that Shichika has never been injured in any of his fights. Princess Hite, they say that at the beginning, and then her, Togame and Shichika are talking about that in the hot springs as well, and it really feels like it's building to him being injured. They're talking about, oh, well, you know, it's going more smoothly than I thought. We can take it slow now. It'll be easier now. You've never been injured. It's great. We're doing fantastic. Clearly building to a reversal of that, where he ends up getting injured. But no, he doesn't. And maybe that's supposed to be subvertive of my expectations because of them playing this up so much, and I'm thinking he's going to get injured and then he doesn't. But, I mean, you subverted my expectations by having entire conversations that were seemingly irrelevant. So, I mean, was it worth it? Maybe he'll get hurt in the future. But just judging this episode on its own, with what I have to work with now, what I've seen so far, we had these conversations that clearly seemed to be building to something, and then they really just didn't. There's a small scene with the chicken Maniwa guy, and he kills some random pirates. That seems literally irrelevant to everything. I don't know why. That was a very small scene, very short, not a big deal. But I don't know why it was there. I don't understand. Like, he left their conversation. There were just random pirate dudes, and they're like, "What were you talking about with them?" And he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and then he did. It didn't even show, like, what his power did. We didn't see it. So it was like, oh, he killed some guys. Why was that in the show? Also, the antagonist of this episode, while I definitely like the armor as a sword, and I like that things were different with him, and he loved Togame, and we didn't kill him by the end. Didn't kill a Maniwa in this episode either. That was also something that was different. I did like those aspects of the antagonist of this episode. Azekura himself, not that interesting. We just get his flashback, like, real quick, tiny little bit of information about him. Pretty simple dude. There's not really all that much going on. I like the lady from episode 3 better, and Uneri from episode 2, and even the Maniwa guys from episode 3. I kind of felt more attached to them. He was fine, just not really anything that stand out. But yeah, I do have my problems with the episode, but we're going to get into the good stuff too. I do like the hot spring scene, again, where we're just kind of treating nudity as just sort of like a thing that's there. Like, they're naked in the hot spring, but it's not played up like super fan servicey. They're just comfortable around each other, whatever. Togame being pretty forward, like getting him to drink and talking to him about how she has come to terms with the fact that he is not going to betray her. She doesn't think that he's going to betray her, and how he doesn't often show her affection and how much he really loves her despite saying it, because he just doesn't, he's not developed enough in that way. He doesn't really fully know how. I don't think he's fully... Like, from the beginning, from the end of episode 1, I didn't take it like, oh yes, I have literally fallen in love with you. It was just like respect for what she was trying to do, wanting to have some kind of purpose, you know, following her because she gave him a purpose, maybe some actual, like, physical attraction going on there. In the book, it's also mentioned, I don't really think this has been addressed in the show, but they also mention how Shichika had never really questioned his father's status as just hero of the rebellion, and that's how he had always thought of his father, just like a hero of the rebellion, champion of justice. And hearing Togame's side of the story, knowing that, of course, her family was killed by him, and that there might be a greater perspective here that he didn't know about, he kind of feels bad about that, and feels bad that he never questioned it, and that's another thing. But of course, as he spends more time with Togame, he might actually start to love her more in a traditional sense as she falls for him as well, and that's kind of what's happening, but he just is so ignorant in the ways of the world that he doesn't really know about expressing that. This episode is good because he goes through a lot of growth in experiencing jealousy over Azekura, liking Togame as well, and the concept of him being ditched for this other guy. He really doesn't understand why he's feeling this, or even that he is feeling it. He just takes it out on her in a very over-the-top way. His teasing, which is just, well, he fucking kicks her leg and knocks her over onto her face. I'm like, Jesus, this is a bit much. This is not teasing, but, like, he just doesn't know this feeling that's going on inside of him. He doesn't know what it means. He doesn't know how to act on it, what to do. He just feels like teasing her because he can't comprehend this concept of jealousy that he's feeling, realizing that, hey, maybe I am kind of human after all. Maybe I'm learning these things. Even, like, recognizing how cruel her plans are. Good that you're willing to go there, Togame. Being the strategian, really wanting to get these swords, like, you know, this guy never leaves his armor, so what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to push him into the ocean, we're gonna have to set him on fire, whatever we gotta do. It's like, okay, respect for being willing to go there, but even Shichika, of all people, is like, hey, isn't that a little cruel? He's learning these things. But while Togame is saying all this, none of her actual plans in battle have ever mattered, have ever done anything. Hakuhei Sabi, whatever they say happened in that fight, I'm not going to count, because that's not something that we actually saw happen. Every victory that Shichika has had has been entirely his own, from what I can remember. It's always a strategy that he comes up with, and Togame has been almost entirely useless. She's important here because she gives him the resolve to continue, which is important, but in actual, her role, what her role is supposed to be of the strategist, she does not contribute. I don't know if that's supposed to be the joke, or if she's just, like, if she's being intentionally incompetent and we're supposed to realize that, or if she'll do better later. But yeah, I can't help but feel that oftentimes she doesn't pull her weight and is just kind of annoying a lot of the time. The scene where she finds out about the Cheerio, I knew that was coming because, of course, at the beginning of the show they did say she would find out eventually that she was wrong, and in the books it actually specified in book 5 she is going to find out she was wrong, so I knew it would happen in this episode, and I just didn't think it was funny. She's just running around, screaming, freaking out, overreacting to this, and I'm like, alright, I just didn't find it funny. And I'm like, please stop screaming, and this could literally not be in the show, and it'd be fine. So we can just move on to things that actually matter, please. You know, she's talking to Shichika about how small people have their own way of fighting, whether it's physically, like their own fighting techniques that they use for fighting bigger people, or just being strategists. But then she goes on to say, like, I have no idea about martial arts. I have no idea, like, what you can do against this guy. You gotta think for yourself. And it's like, oh, well, what are you doing here? I mean, sure, you have your own way of fighting, but if you're not gonna contribute at all, and he's just gonna figure it all out himself. Her helping him get his resolve was good, though. Going up against this guy, I'm glad that the armor-piercing technique didn't just work, and then that's it. We just beat him just like that. It wasn't working because the armor was just too good, and he had to stop and think, like, well, this guy's like a better sword than I am. Is that it, then? Do I resolve to concede victory? But no, he got his resolve to continue fighting because of Togame's words, which was great. The actual resolution of the fight, while I liked him realizing, like, hey, yeah, I'm also just a simple human being. I'm not just a sword. I'm growing as a person. And also about how getting more emotional, in tune with your emotions, and societal expectations and everything that he's learning can cause him to overthink things. He's like, I've learned that maybe thinking is a good thing, but sometimes you do a little too much of it. And so he just had to stop and accept that him and Togame are good together and have his resolve steeled. But then the actual conclusion, he just kind of tossed him. And like maybe I don't know the exact physics of it, but like maybe if somebody in super heavy armor was thrown like that and they hit the ground, it would affect them pretty badly. But in the context of this, pretty lame conclusion. Cool that he's like, I was focused too much on the Kyotoryu, and it's just, I had to try something else, just brute strength. That's neat. But yeah, it was really, they built up this armor. I'm like, how the hell's he gonna get through this armor? We can't break it, because we're not trying to break this stuff. And even if we were, like, could he even do that? It's really tough armor. How's he gonna get this guy? And he just kind of tosses him, like, a little bit over there. And it's like, oh, that's it. It's not like he killed the guy. He was generally fine. Maybe just knocked the wind out of him. Just kind of made him lay there for a little bit, long enough to be considered the loser. But still, it was like, oh, that was real simple. It's cool that he survived, though. He can continue being a pirate captain, just without his armor, and he got his little bit of revenge by sending them in a different direction, so they're going to Ezo next time, and we'll see what happens there. And then there's also the Maniwa stuff, which, again, this felt like kind of just didn't really fully need to be there. I'm sure it's going to lead to something later, but I just kind of forgot about the Maniwa entirely. We were just focused on the armor and everything that we were doing in this episode. He showed up and I was like, oh yeah, them. 6 of them have died already. It's like they have been shown to really not be a force to be reckoned with and to just kind of be pushovers that we take care of to get to the real story and the real antagonist. So this guy shows up, and he's apparently the leader and the strongest of them, this chicken man, and he's willing to cut off his arm just to get them to listen to him, because he's so serious about this, because he's realizing maybe betraying Togame was a bad idea. Kind of what we had to do at the time for the village for our own sakes, but maybe it's not working out too well for us, now that 6 of the 12 heads are dead. And I get what he's saying here about how it's a 3-way battle, and it would be easier if we went after different swords, so that we're not all competing in a 3-way for the same swords all the time, and then at the end, we'll just fight against each other for the swords that we've collected. I get that, and I get why they would even agree to that, but just from my perspective, I don't care about these Maniwa guys. They've been shown to basically just be jokes. So when he's saying, like, oh, it's a 3-way fight, I'm like, no, it's not. You guys don't even matter. It's a 2-way fight, and you guys sometimes show up and get in the way a little bit. Kind of. So I just don't take them seriously enough to warrant this long conversation that we have with this guy and to really care about him. Thinking about it, Shichika has only beaten 1, and that's because of luck, mostly. The fact that his ninpo couldn't fool Shichika, which he couldn't have seen coming, and then he tried to wield the sword while changed into Shichika, which obviously didn't work out. The other ones have been defeated by other people. Shichika can fight swordsmen, but against different types of crazy, unexpected ninpo, maybe he would actually have difficulty. But again, we haven't really actually seen that happen to where I'm really taking this guy seriously or thinking like, yeah, we totally need to make a truce with this guy. You know, I get it. I'm curious to see where it'll go because they do share information. She says where they're going to go next. He gives them the locations of some of the other swords. But now at the end of the episode, we're on a different path than they thought they would be going. So they might end up running into them when they weren't expecting it. And they might think that she has betrayed them now. But then even if that happens, like, I don't know what the result of that will be. Just fight him and take him out. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes with the Maniwani in the future. But as of right now, that's just another scene where I was kind of like, I don't really care all too much about what this guy has to say. So yeah, I enjoyed parts of this episode. Did not dislike it or anything. But there were also some things that I did have problems with, and it was my least favorite overall. I wish there had been a bit more done with the armor or the man behind it, but that wasn't really the focus. Focused more on Shichika's growth and relationship with Togame, which I did like, and I liked how it shook up the formula, still continuing to do that. But I do think it was kind of repetitive, kind of long. The Maniwa stuff, didn't really care too much about. The antagonist wasn't super interesting. Togame was kind of annoying, but we'll see what happens next time. I am still looking forward to seeing more. So let me know what you thought of this episode, if it's also not one of your favorites, if you liked it more than I did, how you feel about all that stuff, the Maniwa, Azakura, Togame, anything you want to let me know, we can talk about it more in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. New episode of Katanagatari every Wednesday. Check out the Discord if you want to come hang out, and the Patreon if you want to support the channel and get early videos. Those links are in the description below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.